wanted to ask you about something Governor Walker said, where he was kind of railing on Republican leadership in Washington, D.C., and saying that folks had campaigned on repealing Obamacare, and it's now August, and that hasn't happened.
Sure. Well, I'm frustrated too. But you also have to look at, we did take a vote in the House to repeal Obamacare. I voted to repeal it, but we do need to replace it. At the same time, we don't have the numbers in Congress. It was important to have that vote. At the same time, we're not veto-proof in Congress, and the president's likely not to sign away his keynote legislation. The Senate has not acted on this, but I'm doing what I said I was going to do.
What do you think? What does the country want right now? What do Iowans want? Is there a dominant issue you're feeling that'll carry into next year as we look at the presidential race and your reelection?
Yeah, it's interesting what people talk about when you're out there in your town halls and talking to folks. Most recently, it's been about national security, particularly the Iran agreement, and we're going to have that vote when we come back in September. You know, the P5+1, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, is out there. I've read it, I've studied it, but then we find out that there's another side agreement with the International Atomic Energy Agency. I went and visited with them to try to get that side agreement with some of my colleagues, a bipartisan group. They didn't share it with us, and I was already skeptical of the plan and the agreement, so I'm going to vote against it.
Is it dangerous for us as a nation to have so many on your side ripping on this deal that the president and his administration have put together?
Well, I think it's dangerous as a nation that we're, talking to Iran the way we are and not doing the verify and then trust angle on this. I'm a trust and verify kind of guy like Reagan is, but in this instance, we need to verify and then trust. And there's no verification process here when we want to come in and do inspections. It's not any time, any place. But this should not be a partisan issue. I've looked at this agreement on its merits. If it becomes political, you're just going to embed the parties on one side or the other. And that's not how we should do it. Look at it on its merits.
This is your first cycle as an elected member of Congress. And as we talk to you on the state fairgrounds here, there are so many presidential candidates on your side who have for visits. What is it like for you to be a part of this process? I would assume a lot of these folks want your ear to pick your brain, whatever. Are they trying to win you over? Are they looking to you for advice? What do they want at this point as they put their caucus campaign together?
They ask me for advice, and I give it to them. I give it to any of them. My advice is come to Iowa as often as you can, and don't just hang out in the urban areas. Go to Glenwood. Go to Keokuk. Go to Marion. Go to Dexter. Get out where the caucus goers are. Those people who do the organization, the people who come out for a caucus for you, they're not all around here. And just level with the American people, especially in Iowa. We're pretty discerning here. This isn't our first rodeo when it comes to politics, and that's why they're all here, right? We're first in the nation. It's symbolic in a way. We're in the center of the country, and also with our politics, we're split up about a third, registered Democrat, a third registered Republican, a third independent. This is the pulse of the nation, and we'll start it out for you.
We have heard a lot of anti-Washington speeches from the registrar's soapbox. Do you think for those presidential candidates who are members of Congress right now, is that a bad thing for them right now on their resume? Is it easier to be a complete outsider with the way people are right now?
Well, it's always to be, against Washington. And I've certainly got my frustrations with it, too, and that's why I ran. You always have to have a boogeyman, I guess, in politics. And I guess it's Washington right now. But there's, how many, 25 candidates right now? 17 on the Republican side and 6 on the...
Only 22, I believe.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. What do we say? Throw a corn dog around here and you'll hit one, right? But we need to winnow that down, and I don't know how long that process is going to be, Dave, because these people are still sticking in it. There'll be a couple more debates coming up, but they got to have strong organization, and it's not always money in Iowa. It's money in politics, period. You have to have a message, and you have to have organization, and you've got to get out there in all parts of the state to do this. And Iowans are pretty darn discerning. We like people who are genuine. we can cut through it. It's like buying a car. You're kicking the tires for a long time sometimes.
Anyway, you endorse before the caucus?
I'm endorsing you, David. I understand you're announcing today.
You should shoot a lot higher than that. How about a real candidate?
No, I'm going to sit it out. I trust Iowans to make this decision. I mean, I'm not going to sway anybody. I don't believe people. I don't know if they respond to that very well when a member of Congress comes out and tries to influence them on who they should vote for.
Have you been personally asked by any of them?
Oh, sure. And I've said I'm not. If I was going to endorse, I certainly am not decided. That's for sure.
Sounds like there's still